welcome here to TalkFCB and welcome back to the channel, guys. It is that time again. It's time for another game. These matches right now coming around so quickly. But this right here, this again is a big one for us. After back-to-back wins, we are at the Camp Nou again for another home game. This time, it's Barça versus Valencia. And everything you need to know, including all of the lineups, it's coming up for you. So let's get to it. Kickoff will be coming to us at the earlier afternoon kickoff time on Saturday at 4:15 local time. And here, guys, as always, are the times right around the world. And I think this kickoff time might suit many of you who often have to stay up so late or early to watch the games. That might be better. And of course, make sure you're joining me live there on the Flick Chat, where every match is certainly going to count ahead of the end of the month in terms of the predictions. It's looking pretty tight at the top right now. And elsewhere, in La Liga this weekend, the big teams are in action, with Atletico Madrid facing Elche. That will take place there before we play on the Saturday. That's the very early kickoff there. Before on Sunday, after we've played, Real Madrid will travel to Eibar, which won't be an easy game there. That can be a tricky place to go, and certainly there we'll be hoping to put the pressure on Real before they're in action, because this right here is how the league table stands, with Atletico Madrid on top, having now played the least amount of games in the league, but they still have 26 points. Real Madrid are on the same amount of points, but having played 2 games more. And we right now are in a much more respectable 5th place, but of course, we still have to keep pushing, and our opponents there are down in 12th, Valencia. 13 games for them so far, 1 more than we've played, but they have 6 points less. What can we expect from this game? Because I think in terms of Barcelona coming into this match, not only in terms of the players but also the fans, there is certainly a better feeling. The win against Levante last weekend, that got us started. That was the win that we desperately needed, even though we didn't do it in the most pretty of circumstances. I think the game against Sociedad was much more encouraging, particularly there when you're looking at that first half. We've spoken about that in a lot of detail, the difference in shape. Also, of course, the emergence of players like Pedri, Araujo, Mingueza. Very encouraging signs. But what we are still searching for is that consistency across 90 minutes. We are all happy with the win against Sociedad, but we all still could admit that second half, it was sketchy. It was difficult at times. We could have conceded, no doubt about it, in that second half. And we can't afford those kind of lapses in the biggest games. And this right here, it is going to be another test for Koeman's men. Because certainly when you're looking at Valencia, on the face of it, for me, you look at their transfer activity right throughout the summer, you look at what's happening at board level for them, and their affairs actually, both on and off the pitch, they could be described as even more turbulent than our own. And that would be really saying something, given the situations that we seem to find ourselves in as a club. But you look at Valencia over the summer, they sold the majority of their key players, which has now seen them, as a result, endure a pretty difficult start to the new season, which has seen them win just 3 of their 13 league games so far. And that's certainly not where Valencia as a club want to be, it's not where their fans expect them to be, but even despite just those 3 solitary wins, if you do look a bit closer at who they came against, it makes for interesting reading, because 2 of those 3 victories from Valencia have actually come there against 2 of the top 3, beating Real Madrid back in November, scoring 4 goals in the process. Remember, that was an absolutely mental game, and they also took 3 points away at Sociedad, which is a very impressive win for them. And it just shows that we can't afford to be taking, again, this game lightly. But there's actually another factor too that I would look at when we're coming up against a team like Valencia, because I think there it's actually very similar to when we played over the years against Espanyol, because Valencia, for me, are one of those teams that no matter how they're doing, no matter how their season is going, when they come up against Barcelona, they raise their level. No matter what form they're in, no matter what form we're in, it's always a difficult game. And it's going to be a physical battle too. This is going to be a hard-fought encounter that every single player is going to need to get themselves up for. And as we start to move now into the tactical side of things, if we first of all look at what we can expect from Valencia coming into this game, and certainly throughout the season so far under Javi Gracia, what they have done is set up in a very flat 4-4-2. Very simple. You've got your 2 forwards here, and they have done that in every single game this season. And that's interesting for me, because coming into this game, if they stick with this formation, if they still go here with the 2 flying wingers, really good players on both sides there for Valencia, and if they do also go with the two strikers up top, that's going to cause us problems. That is going to cause us problems out wide. You're going to be putting real pressure there on the centre-backs, and that is going to be an interesting battle, no doubt. But what I would say is, if they do line up in that system, what they will be is very light in midfield. Just the two players there, I think we can certainly outnumber that. We can get on top of Valencia. We can start to control the game. But the question then would be, okay, maybe they won't play that 4-4-2. But again, if they don't play that, if Javi Gracia changes his system, Valencia will come into this game and they'll have to do something completely different to what they've been doing all season. That in itself can lead to uncertainty. And let's wait and see how they line up. However, when it comes to Barcelona, when it comes to what we're going to do coming into this game, of course, as always, there's some big decisions that Ronald Koeman has to make. And I think it's going to be interesting, very interesting, to see the lineup in this game. Because obviously against Sociedad, we were very encouraging. We saw a good, solid, balanced team. And I'm just wondering here, how many changes, if any, is Koeman going to make coming into this game? Now, of course, you've got to take into account the physical aspect. Are all the players who started against Sociedad going to be ready to play? But if they are, could we actually see the same team? And I've got to be honest, guys, I very rarely suggest this, but on this particular occasion, in a game like this, why not? Why not line up here with a completely unchanged side? We know that Koeman certainly has his favourites there in midfield. I would like to see players like Riqui Puig, of course, even Carlos Alenia come into this team. But we all know there that he does have the players that he likes to go with. So with that in mind, why not start here with the same 11? Have some consistency, reward those players who played very well against Sociedad. And that means here, starting at centre-back, Mingueza alongside Araujo again. Neither of them put a foot wrong hardly. Of course, Mingueza made that mistake which allowed Isaac in. But apart from that, it was very solid between the two of them, so why not reward them? Jordi Alba played brilliantly against Sociedad, play him there on the left, Dest on the right. You've got Busquets and De Jong here in midfield who had a better game as a partnership. I think Pedri has to start, and not only has to start, but has to start in this role. I don't want to see Pedri anymore out here, because that is not doing him or the team any good at all. I want to see him in here. We spoke yesterday about that combination between him and Lionel Messi, and it works so well. Braithwaite is a really important piece, I feel, for this entire team, giving us width there on the left-hand side, also linking up well with Jordi Alba. And we're also going to need that work rate out wide too, because remember, if Valencia do play that 4-4-2 system, they're going to have those wingers bombing on Guedes and Mousse at every single opportunity. And we're going to need Braithwaite, we're going to need Griezmann to really put the work in, as we saw them do against Sociedad, and help us out as a team. And I just think there, if they're physically ready, if they're prepared to play this game, I don't see any problem this time around with starting with exactly the same lineup. If it's not broken, then don't fix it. Finally though, guys, we do move on to your predictions ahead of this game, and this is always going to make for some very interesting reading. Given against Levante and also given against Sociedad, we saw big numbers there voting actually in favour of our opposition, but this time around, quite clearly, the feeling is a lot better. Still, we're not getting ahead of ourselves. The majority they're going for a win by 2 goals. Very few people opting for a win by 3+. Many as well going for a narrow 1-goal margin. And again, I believe we will come out on top. I actually got a score prediction right against Real Sociedad. So let's see what I can do again here. I'm going to go Barça 3. Valencia 1. I think Valencia, in all honesty, are not as good as Sociedad are. And I think if we can replicate that kind of intensity, that kind of pressing, the work off the ball that we did in that first half against Sociedad, it will be enough to take care of Valencia. And this will be, if we can get the job done, another massive 3 points. So please do leave your predictions in the comments down below, guys, ahead of this crucial clash for Barcelona. And of course, don't forget to check out the reaction from Koeman's press conference over there on MORETALKFCB. I will see you after the game tomorrow when it's all gone down. Hopefully, we will emerge victorious. I'll see you then, guys. And I thank you indeed for watching and for supporting. But until next time, as always, Visca el Barça.